सीता कृष्ण भजो मन राधे श्याम भजो रे सीताराम भजो रे 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 राधे श्याम। वनमाली राधा रमणा गिरिधारी गोविंदा 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 नीलमेघ सुंदरा नारायण गोविंदा नीलमेघ सुंदरा नारायण गोविंदा नीलमेघ सुंदरा नारायण गोविंदा नीलमेघ सुंदरा नारायण गोविंदा वनमाली राधा रमणा गिरिधारी 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 गोविंदा भक्त हृदय मंदारा भानुकोटि सुंदरा 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 नंद नंद गोविंद।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। The next shloka. Repeat after me. Shloka number 92. आपकी किताबों में it will be 79 in this. Repeat after. Suvarnavarno hemango varangaschandanangadi viraha vishamashunyo धृताशीलश्चलश्चलः. सुवर्णवर्णो हेमांगो वरांगश्चंदनांगदी. Sometimes it is a pleasant relief when Bhishma ji inserts this beautiful pointers wherein it is not just about the tattva vichara, but it is the rupa saundarya vichara of the Lord. That when we close our eyes to meditate on the gunatmaka form of the Lord, how should we envision? How should we see it? The best that I can think of is when you go into a South Indian temple, those huge temples. And when you go into the sanctum sanctorum, the main Garbha Griha, everything is dark. And suddenly, like a surprise, you see that there is a priest also inside. But he is also matching into the darkness. How do you realize that there is somebody there? Because of the... No, dhoti is supposed to be white, but because he has been working there all day long, that also is matching into the darkness. It is the eyes and the teeth that shine forth. Or it's like somebody there. It's complete darkness. And we coming with our new age, can't they put two focus lights and it be done? The impression that is given is not long lasting. So what do? There is, if you attend the entire puja, different alankaras that are done in the day. So they do the entire puja, then the alankara is done, the curtains are closed, and suddenly the curtain opens up, and then they light the camphor. Bright light. Usually the vigraha is on an altar, is on a pedestal. So they start right from that feet, so that my mind follows that light in seeing that beautiful form of the Lord. Then they go to the right of the Lord, then you see from the feet to the waist, then to the right hand, then to the face. They pause there for more time, that we get a better glimpse of that face. And then to the left, and then come to the feet. And they do it several times. So there is an image that is sculpted in our memory of that form of Lord. So that when I come outside, Prasad can wait. So that is when we sit down, break coconuts, distribute, tear open the banana and distribute, leave the rest of it there. No, that is not the moment meant for it. It is to close one's own eyes and spend those 2-3 minutes in recollecting that beautiful form that has been seen. as though enlivened by that consciousness. It is no more a murti, but it is a sajiva form of the Lord with all the alankar. So how should one envision that? So first they describe. This is the same technique even Tulsidas ji applies in explaining Ramji or Hanumanji in Hanuman Chalisa. That how was Hanumanji or how is any of these forms of the Lord? That Suvarna Varnaha. Suvarnasyeva Varnaha Asya Iti. It is like the golden hue. And probably that is why I love these sunrise and sunsets. You see that golden form. And the Lord radiates through that golden form. That it in itself seemingly produces that halo around. It's not like कोई bulb लगाया पीछे. It is his natural radiance. And this radiance is not depending on lot of facials and scrubs and no, this is a natural radiance. And that natural radiance radiating this golden hue is captivating. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha. How is that glow? Now you take any form of God, they are always defined with that Surya Koti Samaprabha. The midday sun is unbearable. We cannot see. In fact, if we see it for a little longer time, straight, and our vision gets little distorted. We are not able to see anything properly. But the evening golden hue, you can keep observing it and it doesn't hurt. It is that kind of a pleasant hue of that presence of that Lord. If you did not understand Suvarna Varnaha, Bhishma ji says, understand with the next word at least. Hema Angaha. Hema eva angam vapuhu asya hemangaha. Hema means, again, gold. It's not just the radiance, but every limb shines forth in that golden hue. As Akhandanandji puts it, he says, when he talks about his personal vision of Radha Krishna when they were dancing. So if you go to Akhandanandji's ashram in Vrindavan, the main altar, it is that dancing format. And there is in between, in the middle is Bhagavan Krishna dancing. Literally dancing pose. You don't see that kind of a Krishna anywhere. He says, that is what I had as a darshan of the Lord. There he says that in a very poetic way in Hindi, he says, Ang khile. Like, every limb is glowing forth with that radiance. Hema angaha. Suvarna varnaha hema angaha. Varangaha. Varangaha. Shobhanani angani asya iti. Every limb is a delicate aspect. Like when you look at some people, the way their hand gestures are, the way their eyes are, eyebrows are, the ears are, you feel like watching more and more. I was watching a documentary and they say the children seem to love toddlers just born. If there is symmetry in that face, then there is a longer gaze into that kind of a face than a face which does not have that symmetry in it. So in one of our Puranas, they talk about the Samudrika Lakshana. Samudrika Lakshana describes how that pleasantness of the Lord appears. That the both eyebrows are identical. The eyes are looking beautiful, delicate like a lotus. And this, I think they have a very good combination of all the colors and contrasts. This glowing form of the limbs and the hair, it is curly, long hair falling on their face, the side. So Surdas ji takes that and he says that if that face be considered as a kamala, Pullita kamala, like it is completely blossomed. And this hair which is hanging are like the bumblebee trying to climb over that lotus to suck the makaranda rasa of that lotus. Is that delicate and beautiful? And then chiseled nose. As a chiseled nose, no, it has not gone under any scalpel, but it is naturally with that. Some have sharp nose. We used to have this fellow in YUP course. And that fellow will look at everybody's nose and say, "Are you Tamil? Are you Iyengar?" Why the Iyengars have that specific nose? It tips over and it bends a little bit, like a parrot. Then there are people who have blunt, big nose. Now, at the moment I say blunt, big nose, I remember one of our prime ministers, P.V. Narasimha Rao. Literally, his face would be covered with his nose. No, nothing such distortion. Chiseled, beautiful, perfect nose. And as you come down, nice, smiling, beautiful smile. Mrudu mandahasa. Mrudu, very delicate. Mandahasa is like, I have seen very closely. It is again personal opinion, my opinion, okay? Don't get onto my case later. They say Mona Lisa has the most delicate smile. I keep staring at that, but I don't know, I miss it somehow. But when you look at the Lord's smile, it is so beautiful. Ki dil wahin pe, like, our heart just melts there looking at that beautiful smile. And that gaze through those eyes, filled with karuna rasa, with compassion. Almost telling, Aaja mere lal, come, give me a hug. Like Vatsalya, Bhakta Vatsala, right? So with that Vatsalya, like a mother when she looks at her child, how that heart is filled with that Karuna, Prema, all these rasas mixed together. That Vatsalya. Okay, a disclaimer. When we were young and when our mothers used to see, that was the look. Sometimes after we grow, all that she sees is a frown on her face. Kitni baar ho, how many times do I have to tell you to do this, do that? But you know what? Even that expression is only because of that Vatsalya. Cannot be otherwise. So Vara Anga. And then when you come to the shoulders, Tulsidas ji, when he describes Ramji, he says, they are broad, muscular, but yet not muscular enough that, it is only muscles. There is that delicateness in those muscles. The shoulders and the bhuja. And then the hands. In fact, when I was taught the Tanjore painting, the teacher there, he drew different sizes of lotuses. Different sizes. And he says, what do you see? In each page, he drew different lotuses of different sizes. And I said, what do you see? He said, we see lotuses. Then he cut them shapely right around where he had drawn and put them on a big poster board and assembled these lotuses. And once he finished, it was a beautiful form, only with lotuses. Beautiful form of the Lord. Everything looks full, delicate, and very, it just holds your attraction, holds your attention. It is that attractive. Varangaha. And if you go to Surdas ji, when he describes the feet of the Lord, he says that dark bluish hue and the sole, the feet, underneath the feet is pink, and they merge to make a nice, I don't know what color to call, lavender color. It's such a beautiful, every aspect of that. And then he says there are so many people that came to Nanda Baba's house. There are only people coming in. People were refusing to go out because they had not seen such beautiful boy ever before. How could they? Because it was Bhagavan himself there. Varangaha. Every anga is as if, glowing with that Shobhana. Shobhana, amazing beauty in it. Therefore, Varangaha. And then, now sky is the limit. How you decorate and adore that Lord. He doesn't leave much scope. He gives that also. Chandanangadi. Chandana ityadi. On the anga. See, and Bhagavan Vishnu especially he is called Alankara Priyo Hivai Devaha. He loves his Alankara. How do I explain this to the new age generation? I call him the most groomed, the hair in the perfect, the tilaka. Or you ask dancers, they'll go all over the place. Kasturi tilakam. So you ask a dancer to do, they say it is art. I'd like to believe that. First they'll lift their right foot behind. तिलक लगाने के लिए पाँव उठाने की क्या जरूरत है? They lift that, and then this is supposed to be the mirror. And looking at that mirror, who does this? I do like this. Anybody? Like done. They all over. Kasturi tilakam. A nice, beautiful red tilaka going all over the forehead. And all the content that is being offered to the Lord, they are all natural, organic. See, Chandanam samarpayami, Kumkumam samarpayami, Haridra churnam samarpayami. All that is nothing but natural, organic. So nice chandana tilaka going around that red tilaka. And then on the different limbs. So when it is the vibhuti, then it goes on certain limbs. But chandana, it is a lepa, so it goes on the body. That is why the dancers, and when they have to describe the chandana going on to the, so there is a chandana lepa. So there is chandana, and then Adi Shankaracharya ji, chandanaihi आह्लादनैः अंगदैः केयूरैः bhushita. So there are different kinds of malas, and Bhagavan Vishnu loves not just one kind of mala. His most favorite one is he is called Vanamali Radha Krishna. Different kinds of assorted flowers. I thought I could envision what they were trying to describe, but once I went to Mathura, it is in Vrindavan. They're just a few minutes away. So in Vrindavan, there is this beautiful temple called Banke Bihari. Whenever I go to India, that is one place that I don't forget to visit. Such a beautiful place. And the entire Murti, every hour there is a new Alankara. Once he is decked with only lotuses. Different kinds of lotuses. There are some pinks, there are some white, there are some red, there are some blue. So this whole Sharir is decked with lotuses. But the best, my favorite, is when is assorted flowers, Vanamali. Different kinds of wild flowers. So Vanamali. And then there is Tulasi Mala, nicely hanging on his neck over his shoulders. And then there is beautiful Pitambara Vastra. So you should learn beauty tips from the Lord. I'm not making it up. See, if you have a darker complexion and you wear darker clothes, you will be consumed in that darkness. Nothing stands out. So to stand out, that dark bluish hue, so you need Pitambara, it stands out. And it is matching. I think when you also, so when you do this puja, don't just throw flowers there. Arrange it in such a way that that Lord stands out, and that pratima, that image, is enlivened in your mind for a long period. It just stays there. And then there is a mukuta. Mukuta can be of various things. The best mukuta that I have seen on that Banke Bihari is made out of pearls. Again, a combination, right? It stands out. And on that, there is this beautiful, the peacock feather, a bunch of peacock feathers hanging in there. Head to toe, such delicate, beautiful decoration. So Chandanangadi, the one who is decked with such beautiful arrangements, head to toe, with different kinds of abhushana, different kinds of lepa, tilaka, and the clothes that go around. Varangas Chandanangati, Suvarna Varno Hemango, Varanga Chandanangati. Sometimes when we do puja and it is it's sad. When I used to go to I had taken one sankalpa that in Dallas for the 100th year celebration, we should offer at least 108 Paduka pujas in different houses. Initially, I was quite caught up in other arrangements. Then I took time off one whole month. I said, morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever you find time, book my time, I'll come and do puja at your house. I started visiting first 2-3 houses. The colors and the kumkum and chandan and things like that, they were like quite horrifying. I won't use it on myself. Because that kumkuma is not to be something sticky stuff. It means there's something else added in there. So I used to feel sorry. And then I said that feeling sorry is not the solution. Then I started carrying my whole puja kit wherever I went. When it is to be offered, it has to be the uttama, best of the best that has to be offered to the Lord. We don't have time to sit down and grind all that chandana. So in the name of chandana, there's some powder given, yellow powder, and then you mix water, it doesn't mix, and then you apply it on that murti or pratima of the Lord, and it keeps dripping all over the place. See, when you put your chandan, kumkum, tika, whatever you put, is it like smeared all over the place? Sometimes when we ask people to put chandana, they take and then pachak. So it has covered the forehead, eyes, nose, and it is dripping all over the place. Koi aisa alankar karta hai? You have invoked that Jagadishwara in front of you. That Jagadishwara who is the very expression of handsomeness and beauty. And to that you put like, maybe it is from the attitude or like, when the child is growing up, the mother takes out some kajal and puts it on that child. Said, drishti dosha. So maybe drishti dosha, put it right in the alankara. Nice, uttama vastu to be offered. Then we come to the abhisheka of that Lord. Straight from the fridge, cold milk. It is usually we are celebrating the birth, right? Birth of that Lord. And it is Bala Krishna. Can you imagine a small child being showered with cold? Bechara yaar. If milk has to be offered, take it out, keep it for an hour or two outside, let it come to a room temperature, and then offer it. See, it is a bhava with which you are offering. It is not just pouring. Om done. No. It is a bhava that goes in there. And then the Naivedya. Do we ever eat anything with the stickers and everything stuck on it? While we offer, we rush, bring in the cover in the last moment and then put it. It has all those stickers and everything, not cleaned, not washed, and that we are offering to the Lord. बेचारा कुछ बोलता नहीं है. अगर बोलने लग जाए ना, तो वहां से he would have said, ये बेवकूफ निकालना, take that out. And we still ask, where is his compassion? He's not shouting at you. That itself is a big compassion. See, if I give you an apple with all those stickers and say, cow, what would you do? First remove those stickers, wash them, clean them, peel them, cut them. Okay. Some bhava in it. You getting the answer? So when you're offering it, it is to that Jagadishwara. With that attitude, when we do it, where can that mind run away from? Where can it else go? You have to tie that mind down with such amazing presence that it cannot but think about that Lord alone. And we need all shortcuts. The puja vidhi is amazing. They say, Ratna Khachita Hema Simhasanam Samarpayami. And Bhagavan is also Lord. Seriously? A golden throne studded with all these precious stones and comfortable asana you are offering. Where? And then we take Pushpam Samarpayami Tadartham. And Bhagavan is yaar. When Pushpa is not there, Akshatani Samarpayami. Yes, he himself said in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. It is not what you offer, it is the intention behind what you are offering is what matters. That does not mean that I offer anything without that bhava. And then when I sit and meditate on this form, that it is that glowing, beautiful form with all this beautiful alankara, that enlivened form should stay in our heart. Wherever you go, have that enlivened form in your heart and talk to him. भगवान अभी मूवी देखने जा रहे हैं, एंजॉय करना. भगवान I am offering this food to you, enjoy this food. Every action. And that becomes your saguna sakara upasana. Think about it. Suvarna varno hemango varangas chandanangari. Viraha Dharmatranaya Viran Asura Mukhyan Hanti iti Viraha. All these asuras, though they were little more than crooked in their ways, nonetheless they were very, very powerful. And when Bhagavan did annihilate them, there was not any ounce of disrespect. So much so that it is said in Valmiki Ramayana that Bhagavan asks Lakshmana to go spend the last moments with Ravana, and if he is ready to share, learn something from him. And the idea was, let him not die alone. Be there with him. He was a Shatru. He had just shot by him only. But there was no kruratva. There was no animosity. That was also done with lot of Shraddha. Annihilation. That he recognized them as Veera. But those Veera who are misguided with their own wrong ideas, therefore they have to be annihilated. Veeraha. Dharmatranaya. And what is the purpose? See, whenever we have in any avatar, why did Bhagavan do this? You and I mean, if I were asked that question, my immediate answer that pops in my head, tu hotta kaun hai puchne wala? Who are you to ask? As if you are like the judge sitting there and demanding that why did Bhagavan do this? But still, wherever that question comes in our head, one thing to remember, whatever Bhagavan does is in dharma for dharma. Dharma tranaya, to uplift dharma. In the Shankara Bhashya of those two shlokas, paritranaya sadhunam and yada yada hi dharmasya. There the question is raised that you say that this dharma is eternal. How can there be glani in this dharma? How can that dharma fall into pieces? There he explains it beautifully. He says, it is not that the dharma is shattered, it is those who have to practice that dharma. They have shattered to stoop down to lower levels. It is to uplift them alone that his avatara, whatever he does in that avatara, is for that sole purpose. Dharmatranaya Viran Asura Mukhyan Hanti iti Viraha. Continuing. Vishamaha. Vishamaha, what is it? Somebody who is unequaled, unparalleled. A simple meaning of that word, someone who is unparalleled. So, Adi Shankaracharya ji says, Samo na asya vidyate sarva vilakshanatvat iti vishamaha. The one who is unparalleled in all kinds of lakshana. There is no one who is greater than, above, or somebody that can even be compared to that Lord. Such one is that Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says in the 11th chapter, where he now realizes that who he called as Krishna, Yadava, he realized that himself is Paramatma. Because suddenly he has seen now the Vishwa Rupa of that Lord, that Virata Rupa of that Lord. And suddenly he feels this surge of remorse. Yeah, Krishna? Like, you don't know that person. And you have heard of some person, like it happened to, they say, in Gandhiji's life. Now, today in this world, I have to say which Gandhi? M.K. Gandhi. That is the only one who deserves to be called as Gandhiji. The rest of them are an abomination to that name Gandhi. Anyway, so that Gandhiji was traveling in a train, and as he was traveling, there was this fellow who was eating pan and spitting right there in the compartment. Gandhiji was reading a newspaper. He very silently, first time, he spits, that other fellow spits, he sits down and cleans that whole place and folds it and discards it. Now this fellow, instead of learning, he sees it as a mocking chance. अच्छा, बड़ा साफ सुथरा वाला आया है, अब क्या करेगा? And he spits again. He again tears another piece of paper and again cleans it. So this happens a few times. And meanwhile, the train stops and everybody is like, there's a huge crowd out there. And suddenly somebody from down comes up into the train and does namaskar to Gandhiji and welcomes him. And he stands in that train, waves his hand and speaks something. That is how it was in those days. In those days, there was a reason why the train would be delayed. They have maintained that tradition. Anyway, so after that, Gandhiji comes back and sits in his seat as the train starts moving. Now this fellow, realizing that I have heard of this Gandhi and this fellow is that Gandhi, and I have made him clean my spit several times. He's like, I don't know where to put my face now. You understand that remorse, right? Now imagine that it is Bhagavan himself. And in Arjuna's own words, how does he treat him? He Krishna, he Yadava, he Sakheti, Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam, Oh Lord, your Mahima, I have only heard, but I had never thought that you are this Paramatma. You are this avatar. Ajanata, in my ignorance. Baba, I called you lot of things. Like, you can imagine, they were friends. Arjuna and Krishna were friends. And he would say, hey Krishna, chalna. Imagine, you know that he is Paramatma. Would you ever even utter such? You would like, Bhagwan, chale. Shall we? Should we? No, he was like, hey, chalna ya, chal, ut. Hey Krishna. Hey Yadava. Within the Kshatriyas, there are different kinds. Yadava are considered of the last of the kind. So those who had the royal lineage, they always had that chip on their shoulder. That I am a Kshatriya, you are only a Yadava. And with that attitude, sometimes Arjuna must have called Bhagwan. Hey Yadav, chalna. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava. Hey Sakheti. I even called you my friend. I don't know if I deserve calling you my friend. And in so many other instances, asatkritosi, yachavaha sartham asatkritosi, vihara shayya sanabhojaneshu. In vihara, while going in the chariot, he must have said, Bhagwan, come in my chariot. And as he is stepping, this is all my imagination. Okay. As he is stepping into that chariot, he just yoked those horses to move forward. Sometimes you do that, you open the door for someone, and as they're about to come, you move forward. So Bhagwan almost misses his foot stepping. Vihara. Shayya. While sleeping. Hey, Krishna, I need my comfort, okay? You sleep down. He must have said, Shayya. Asana. Everybody has done this to their friends. That you offer a chair, and as they are about to sit, did you pull it? He must have also done something like that to Krishna. Vihara Shayya Asana Bhojaneshu. That while food, that he was, maybe he had one laddu and Arjuna ate it, and the laddu in Krishna's plate was still there. Hey Krishna, look at that. And took his laddu and ate away. Or, I don't know if they had April Fool's Day. So in the chai, it happened in the YUP course. These people were taught how to make chai. And one day, me and Ramakrishna Nanji get chai, and we take a sip and say, this is not chai. And Ramakrishna Nanji, he has his own sense of humor. So he takes that cup and says, chal. And we both go to the kitchen. And he says, very seriously, can I have little tamarind and little this and little that? I said, why, Swamiji? Well, there is already enough salt. We thought we could make chai rasam. Sometimes it happened inadvertently, but sometimes when we have to tease someone, you replace the sugar with salt. And they pour it and then they add, he being in Dwaraka must have had the habit of having more sugar. So more salt he added in, and then he wanted to drink. And I was like, gotcha. Vihara Shayya Asana Bhojaneshu. And having realized that, he says, Bhaiya, for all that, please forgive me. And then he says, now I realize your true form. There, in that he comments, he says, Natvat samaha asti abhyadikaha kutaha anyaha. Is there anybody who can be even compared to you? My father's older brother is very good in Sanskritam. So whenever I used to do something which is not favored by him, I do something dumb, something foolish, he would say this. Natvat samot asti abhyadikaha kutaha anyaha. It is his way of saying, तेरे जैसा बड़ा मूर्ख मैंने देखा नहीं है. But here it is from the standpoint of that, oh Lord, now realizing your greatness, I can't even think of someone I can compare. Tomorrow, if I had to go tell Draupadi that I had this awesome experience just before the war began, how was Bhagavan Krishna? I don't have anything that I can compare to tell her that this is how you are. You're unparalleled. Moving forward, in the next word, all Buddhists should be happy. Why? Their nirvana, as they have ended up defining, they call it as shunya. And here, about 3,000 years before Buddha, it was already covered that Bhagavan is also called Shunya. But the way they have interpreted it today and what is meant here, how they have interpreted in Buddhism as Shunya and what is meant by here, probably would be the meaning which even Buddha would have said. But through the Mahasabhas that they concluded as to what were the meaning or the intended meaning of his words, later got diluted or changed. So much so that I have also read few people who have done intense PhDs to prove why that nirvana can only be shunya, which Adi Shankaracharya very easily destroys in his logic, saying it cannot be shunya. But then here you call that Lord as shunya, then what does that mean? So he says, Sarva Vishesha Hitatvat Shunyavat Shunya. Sorry, Vishesha Rahitatvat. There are no attributes that can be attributed to the Lord. Absence of any attributes that can be attributed, therefore he is called Shunya. Not that he is non-existence. Long before this creation, there existed non-existence. Does it make any sense? If it existed, then how can it be non-existence? Vidyaranya Swamiji puts a very beautiful, very funny logic. If somebody says, I don't have a tongue, how can you say it? Because you can say it if you have a tongue. You're saying it and you're claiming that you don't have a tongue. It is as ridiculous as that. So it is not that the tattva is shunya. In that tattva, all these vikaras are shunya. Therefore, he is called shunya. Shunyavat iti shunya. There is no vishesha, there is no kinds of attributes that can be attributed. And this is where probably Gurudev often defines, saying, you define God, you have defiled God. The moment you define, it has become parichinna, it has become limited. Therefore, we end up, whether it is in Tapona Shatkam or anywhere, wherever there is stuti, Ashabdam Asparsham Arupa Vacha. And then I say, that which cannot be defined is his definition. Anirvachya. Let me define God for you. What is the definition? That which cannot be defined in words. Like, what kind of definition is that? Because anything that you define will fall short of his reality. Therefore, he is sarva vishesha rahitatvat shunya.Ghritashihi.Ghritashihi. Probably Bhishmacharya here was thinking about Bhagwan Krishna's Bala Leela. That who stole, that who consumed, ghrita ityadi, ghee, butter, milk, yogurt, the cream, all that which he stole from and enjoyed, relished while he was still a kid. And he used to have a troop with him. And he was the troop leader. And the troop had people who were older than him. But he was still the brain behind all those activities. So one day it is said, I am not clear exactly as to where I read this, but it is a very beautiful description. The husband and wife leave, informing the in-laws, be careful, we just have a fresh stock of butter, and the whole pot we have, 2-3 pots we have hung it up in that, what do you call, from the attic you hang it in those 3 pots, one, like it's like the Tower of Pisa. Like, container ho gaya. It is the a rope construction that you make and then you put them in there and hang it. Shikha. Okay, Gujarati ma. Marathi also. Okay, that word. I said, we freshly made, be careful. Poor fellows, after their food, and afternoon food they had, and they slept. These people sneaked in, nicely finished everything, and as they were hearing those two couple come back, Krishna said, wait. He takes some butter and gently applies it on those two sleeping couple, on their hands and on their lips. And as they are running out of that house, they announce to this couple, what kind of in-laws do you have? They did not leave any butter for me. They have already eaten sumptuously and they are sleeping. Gratashi. Once Yashoda Maya had taken a fresh stock and then given to Krishna, knowing that he loves it. And then after a few minutes, he comes back and says, Mama, little more. Said, no, your tummy cannot handle it. Only night. Very innocently, he says, what do you mean by night? What is night? He said, when it is all dark. Said, oh, that is easy. He closes his eyes. Now everything is dark. Give. Grtashihi. Another meaning of this word, Grtashihi, of this name, is the one who is himself free from any personal desires. The one who has annihilated any desire in his heart. Such one is this Ishvara, such one is this Lord, who has no desires absolutely. So whatever we pray in this creation, as it comes in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Punya Papam, that is with you only. I neither take Punya nor take Papa, because I have absolutely nothing to do with this creation. I have created it and I have given you a buddhi, how to lead yourself. That's why probably he says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. Those who attain to me in their surrender, to them what do I do? Presently we all have buddhi, it is on a short circuit. I recircuit it so that you can use that buddhi to find your own moksha, so that you can find your path back unto. He himself per se has no prejudices of any kind. Gritashihi. Continuing. Achalaha. What is achalaha? Na swarupat, na samarthyat, na cha jnanadikadi gunat, chalanam vidyate asya iti. That in who there is not even any kind of movement, whether it is movement in the swarupa or samarthya or jnana. In Andhra Pradesh, once I made this statement and I had to regret and find quickly a new meaning for it. But since I know in this crowd there is no one with that name, there is a very popular name called Chalapati. So I used to get confused, Chalapati kya hota hai? Because it doesn't make sense. What do you mean by Chalapati? Whenever I get a new name, whenever I hear a new name, I ask them, what is the meaning of this name? Like sometimes we don't know that. Like we have one Brahmacharini ji and her name is Akalka. So the first time I read in my mind, it was popping with all different kinds. Akalka, Bhejeka, Sarka. What do you mean by Akalka? I asked. I said, no, sorry, this is a Sanskrit word. Akalka means the bright shining rays of the moon. As soon as she said it was from Sanskrit, I immediately pounced onto the dictionary to see what it means. It does mean that. Chalapati, what nobody could ever say. Oh, it is Balaji's name. I said, no, Balaji is Venkata Chalapati. So what they did is Venkata Chalapati. So Sandhi Vicheda says some. It has to be Venkata Achalapati. That should have been the Sandhi Vicheda. Once I was explaining this, and suddenly one man goes, Swamiji, for last 43 years, I have had this name. You just ruined it for me. My name is Chalapati. My name is Chalapati Rao. And I was like, sorry, dude. What can I do now? And I quickly ran through my head. I said, wait, there can be another meaning. Because Bhagavan Vishnu has two wives. One is called Achala and the other is called Chanchala. Achala is Bhudevi. Chanchala is Sri Devi. So maybe Chalapati means the one who is Shripati. Now I feel good. But it is not Chalapati, it is Achalapati. The one who is Achala. Achala. See, to move, there should be space other than me. See, supposing I am being boxed in a 3 by 3 by 3 cube. I am like, where will I move? There is no space to move. In order to move, there needs to be something other than me where I can move into. There is nothing other than the Lord. If there was something other than the Lord, he would say, can we exchange places? This again, I heard it from a Harikathakar. It was a very funny story because I have not found it in any Shastra. So the story that he was weaving was, once Naradji came to Lakshmi ji and he said, all that I have seen you is always doing his seva. You are called his Ardhangini. Have you ever asked him to do your seva once at least? So she said, the idea is good. So once Bhagwan was nicely, food was given and she was pressing the feet, Bhagwan knew there was something happening in her head. I said, what is happening? What are you thinking? So she said, don't read me wrong. I wish we would exchange our place. So Bhagwan was sleeping under the hood. So the actual hood is Bhagwan's, if you understand my drift. So he was under the hood. And I said, oh, no problem. He shifted to the other side and she shifted under the hood. And again he gave his feet and said, press. Then Bhagwan, I didn't mean it in this way. You said Sthana Brahmsha. You got it. And then he weaves that story into a different part. But I thought that was quite a funny way of projecting it. In the Lord, there is no movement. Because in that paripurnata, in that which is complete unto itself, there does not need to be a movement other than, that's why they say, the one who is Atmaiva Ramate, the one who is dwelling in his own self as the self. There's nothing more to move into. Therefore, he is Achalaha. And yet, he is Chalaha. Chalaha, Vayu Rupena Chalati iti. The one who is moving faster than the fastest. How can he move faster than the fastest? So if you know, when Bhagwan comes and you say, Bhagwan, I wish, I would like to play, as they say, the cop and police. So I'll run, you catch me. Wherever you go, he's already there. Faster than you. Why? Because wherever you're running only in him. So sometimes when people say that, God is in me, I have this pop-up question in my head. Tu kitna bada top hai that you can accommodate God in you. It is not that God is in me. What should be the actual statement? I am in God. An intermediary stage. And the finality of it is that it is not that God is in me or I am in God. I am God. Even in sadhana, there is so much of chalana. When does it all end? When you reach to that ultimate. What is the ultimate? To understand that he is achala, as well as appears that which is the substratum for all that which is chala. Vayu rupena chalati iti chalaha. We have completed 746 names of the Lord. And until we continue next month, we will stop here. I know there is still about 20 minutes. We'll finish Guru Dakshina, and then I don't want to leave in between a shloka hanging in there. So we'll stop here. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.